As the winter sun slowly sinks below the horizon, millions of starlings gather in the reed beds of Anatolia every evening. This fascinating and admirable sight, called murmuration, is filled with secrets. A hypnotic, synchronized flight display that almost seems choreographed. What causes these birds to engage in such captivating dances? Their synchronized movements bewilder potential predators, making it difficult for a hunter to focus on a single bird. The reed beds also shelter marsh harriers and falcons. They remain vigilant in search of prey. The starlings frequently alter their flight patterns, merge and move as one entity. Targeting an individual proves nearly impossible. The hunter attempts to break apart the flock, but its efforts are in vain. The flock keeps growing with more starlings, determined not to lose a single member. The harrier will pursue other targets. The starling murmuration mimics a singular, living entity, effectively guarding the flock. Once the danger is over, the starlings start to settle on the reed beds, meadows, and branches for the night. They will keep flocking to this gathering and roosting site until the sun completely sets and night descends. The ancient black pine forests of central Anatolia. This is also home to one of Anatolia's oldest inhabitants, a flying giant with a 3-meter wingspan, the cinereous vulture. And Anatolia is one of its last refuges. A nest lies hidden in the towering pine trees. Mature pines can easily support a cinereous vulture's nest. This forest borders the plains, where vultures go looking for food. The mother has gone in search of food. The chick will lie low, rendering itself invisible. The cinereous vulture can fly as far as 150 kilometers a day, looking for food. It is easy to locate a carcass on the flat steppe. Cinereous vultures generally follow the ravens, crows, magpies, and Egyptian vultures that usually arrive first. The cinereous vultures watch from a distance to ensure the area is safe. The imperial eagle won't miss this opportunity either. However, caution is advised in the presence of so many vultures. Patience has worn thin. As more birds arrive at the carcass, those waiting from a distance grow bolder. The area seems safe enough. The vulture is not a predator. Unlike other birds of prey, its claws cannot grasp prey. It uses its claws and beak to feed on the carcass. The birds are full. Now it's time to get cleaned and rest. When the largest bird of the region leaves the table, the bystanders can indulge in the remains. The vulture must now return to the pine forest in the foothills to tend to its chick. Flying with such a large body isn't easy. The vulture uses thermals to travel long distances. It circles upward with hot air currents and glides until it catches the next thermal. Using its 3-meter wings like a glider, the vulture conserves its precious energy by minimizing flapping. Now it's time for the chick to feed. It will soon gain its adult plumage and size. It must wait until early autumn to depart from the nest, reunite with its relatives in the steppe, and look for carrion. The golden eagle ranks among Anatolia's largest raptors. It favours steep, rocky mountainsides as nesting grounds. The ruler of the skies, with a wingspan of 2.5 meters and powerful sharp talons. It is a skilled hunter, but the harsh winter poses challenges in the mountains. The golden eagle turns to carrion to survive during these dire times. Late winter is the time to find a mate. In these vast mountains, being heard across great distances is vital. Not every cry in the mountains belongs to the lynx. There are towering cliffs above the tree line where few creatures venture. A master of camouflage, the Caspian snowcock. Here, oxygen is as limited as the vegetation. The snowcock thrives at these high elevations thanks to its unique red blood cells. The peaks of Anatolia resonate with the calls of the snowcock. Although black kites typically winter in small groups in the woods at the plain's edges, this area is an exception. The black kite is an opportunistic predator. Around 10,000 birds have gathered in a mega flock near the garbage dump to endure the harsh winter months. Despite providing some sustenance in harsh conditions, the garbage dump is not an ideal food source. Waste can contain non-food substances, bacteria, and chemicals that may poison the birds. Once the severe winter ends, they will disperse to various parts of Anatolia. An elegant migrant arriving from thousands of kilometers to the north signifies winter in Anatolia. Their breeding grounds are in the far north, close to polar regions, unsuitable for winter survival. In contrast to the tundra, winters in Anatolia are far more temperate. Swans spend most of their time in shallow water, feeding on grass, moss, seeds, and roots of leafy aquatic plants. Their long necks allow them to feed without submerging. Swans prefer extensive wetlands near cultivated fields. Frequently seen in large groups, they disperse across flooded fields, searching for grass, seeds, and sometimes worms. As large, heavy birds, swans need support to take off. Spring is here, and the reeds are bustling with activity. Eurasian coots are early birds. The first chicks of the season have hatched. Some species have not yet found their mates. White-headed ducks are still courting. Males must display all their skills. These shallow areas between the reeds are highly valued. Females watch the dominant and powerful males intently. Male and female white-headed ducks exhibit distinct differences. They are among the unique duck species of Anatolia. The male has set his sights on a mate. It makes a grunting and clicking sound and ruffles its wings. It approaches slowly. The male will show off its skills, swimming sideways and backwards to keep in sync with the female's movements. The female shows interest. She gazes intently. Now for the final stage of the show. An upright head, an extended body, and an upright tail. Impressing the females isn't sufficient. The dominant male must also ensure that the other males acknowledge his superiority. The Kızılırmak Delta, where the longest river spanning Anatolia flows into the Black Sea. This is a true bird paradise. Around 350 species live here. Some species are migratory, and around half breed in this area. One of the most common birds in the delta is also among Anatolia's most interesting and unique species. The grey-headed swamp hen has a striking plumage of violet blue, purple, turquoise and red. Its large feet allow it to navigate the delta's reeds and thick aquatic vegetation easily. It uses its feet like claws. Plant shoots, leaves, roots, flowers, seeds, and especially aquatic plants are its favourite. It meticulously searches for the most nutritious foods. The wetland must be defended. Dominant individuals patrol the delta, asserting their presence to keep other swamp hens in check. A menacing gaze. Life is about to get harder for birds that ignore the warnings. Early May. The high peaks remain snow-capped. This dried-up riverbed hosts one of Anatolia's most vibrant birds. A remarkable species known for its bright yellow neck and striking turquoise body, complemented by brown and red hues on its head and wings. The bee-eater is a migratory bird that forms large colonies. They are here to breed. Riverbeds make excellent nesting sites for bee-eaters, which favour clay-rich and sandy soil banks and stay close to their nests from early May to late August. Some nests can stretch up to 2 meters. The eggs are laid deep within the nest, making them inaccessible to predators. The parents will provide chicks with insects for the first 3 weeks. The bee-eater excels as a hunter, watching from branches near the riverbed. With agile movements, it captures various flying insects, particularly bees, before returning to the perch from which it took off. Before swallowing their catch, bee-eaters skillfully remove the poisonous stinger sac. The breeding season brings competition for bee-eaters. Intense fights erupt over the best perch, the best nest, the best mate. They must risk everything to pass on their genes to future generations. Birds seek to get the attention of potential mates. Bee-eaters that find their mate will spend the entire season together. Some birds may remain paired for several years. A sign of changing seasons along the Euphrates is the sand martin. After wintering in Africa, they return to Anatolia to breed. Sand martins prefer nesting on steep, sandy riverbanks, like the bee-eaters. However, while bee-eaters nest in dry stream beds, martins prefer to nest near flowing rivers. The soil is loose enough to dig a nest, yet firm enough to shelter eggs and chicks. Nests located on the steeper sections of the riverbanks are considered safe. There is no risk from the water, and threats from above are also limited. However, there exists an unusual danger to martins in this area. Cattle egrets. They're here to exploit the martin nests as the water recedes. Nutritious eggs or defenseless chicks may be for the taking. All nests will be inspected. Experienced martins dig deep tunnels. Most of their eggs and chicks are safe. Sand martins will continue hunting insects for their chicks. Lake Tuz. This is the second largest lake in Anatolia. The intense heat of the Anatolian sun has created vast salt pans as water evaporates. This lake hosts one of the most vibrant bird species. Lake Tuz is among the 20 known breeding sites for flamingos in Europe. Around 20,000 chicks hatch each year to join the colony. But why come to Lake Tuz? The environment is harsh, it's hot, offers little shelter, and is too salty for most other species to thrive. The flamingo nests are far from the shore, surrounded by shallow water. The sweltering sun and extreme salinity keep them safe from predators. Summer. Most chicks have hatched and are old enough to stand in the shallow water. Despite their small size, they are preparing for a long journey. They must walk about 20 kilometers under their parents' watchful eyes. The vast nursery of thousands of flamingo chicks has moved toward the freshwater sources on the lake's western shore. With abundant food near the water, life is somewhat easier than in the lake's center. Sadly, not all chicks can make this journey. The weaker ones have perished. However, the biggest threat to these birds comes from humans. Extended drought and excessive irrigation in the early 2000s drained the vital water sources for flamingos, resulting in a sharp decline in their populations. This unique colony, discovered in 1969, is now regaining its former splendor. Lake Tuz region serves as a crucial natural reserve for our planet. Feeding well, the chicks grow stronger and will soon take to the skies. The wintering habitats throughout Anatolia will soon be filled with young flamingos. In 4 to 5 years, the matured chicks will return to Lake Tuz to breed and continue the cycle. This tiny bird is one of the symbols of the reed beds. The bearded reedling fully deserves its name. The female reedling has yellow-brown feathers. The male is striking with its grey head and black moustaches that gives the species its name. The reedling never leaves the reed beds, where it feeds and nests throughout the year. While the black-winged stilt is not as large as the flamingo, it has a fascinating body. It has the longest legs relative to its body size among all birds. The stilt can swim in deeper waters and catch a wider variety of prey than any other shorebirds. This adaptable bird inhabits all of Anatolia's wetlands in both fresh and saltwater habitats. Spotting the bittern is challenging. It prefers to stay hidden and does not form large colonies like other herons. Most heron species prefer similar habitats and often hunt in groups. While their anatomy is similar, they avoid competition due to variations in body size, hunting techniques, and types of prey. Wading near the purple heron, grey heron, and little egrets is the spoonbill with its unique beak. Its long, scoop-shaped beak features sensitive feelers at the tip, enabling it to hunt effectively even in murky, muddy waters with limited visibility. The pelican, with a wingspan of 3.5 meters and a weight of about 15 kilograms, is the largest bird found in wetlands. This collective hunting technique proves highly efficient, as pelicans drive schools of fish into shallow waters and easily capture the trapped prey. The cormorant is also a master fish hunter. Thousands of cormorants reside in colonies close to the feeding sites. The tall trees and nesting spots along the shore and the stream protect the young against potential dangers. Their nests, constructed from branches and grass, are carefully designed to ensure the safety of their chicks. The nest is strong enough to support both the parents and the young. They return to the same breeding grounds every year. The colony is both crowded and diverse. Among them are night herons, grey herons, little egrets, and squacco herons. Outnumbering the other birds, the cormorants have taken over the area closest to the water and furthest from danger. Early morning. This river and the surrounding wetlands serve as their hunting grounds. There is a lot of activity at the colony site. Flocks of birds constantly come and go to feed throughout the day. Feeding together has its advantages. By moving in unison, they can easily encircle schools of fish, increasing their chances of a catch with each dive. Cormorants can stay underwater for at least 2 minutes. They move underwater using their wings and webbed feet. Unlike most water birds, cormorant feathers are not entirely waterproof. Oily feathers, such as those seen on ducks, would hinder a deep dive. When out of the water, cormorants must dry their wet feathers. They leave the feeding grounds before dark falls and return to the colony. The chicks eagerly await their parents' return. they will be fed fresh fish until they are old enough to hunt. The chicks have grown quickly. They can't fit in the nest anymore. They have spread out onto nearby branches. They will soon set off for their wintering area, and the dead trees that host the colony will be abandoned until the next breeding season. The steppes of southeast Anatolia. With the warming weather, migratory birds start to arrive at their nesting sites. The blue-cheeked bee-eater, one of the most colourful bird species of Anatolia. Despite its name, it hunts every airborne insect with precision. Large grasshoppers are its favourite. Once recovered from the tiring journey, the colony quickly focuses on breeding. Instead of perching on branches, these birds prefer to be on the ground. Bee-eaters prefer low hills with gentle slopes. This hill with soft soil is an ideal nesting area. A hard day's work has begun for the male bee-eater. While feeding himself, he must also bring gifts to his potential mates. The female closely observes the male's hunting skills. She will select a proficient hunter as a mate to guarantee a sufficient food supply for the young until they fledge from the nest. Males that display strength in flight and skill in hunting are the ones who win mates. Yet, the challenge continues. It's now time to provide a secure nest for the chicks. Those who can't find a mate are restless. Some even try to isolate their competitors from their partners. The growing grasses pose a challenge for the black francolins. They must make themselves heard to potential females and rivals. This female is not very impressed. If it can venture out of the tall grasses, its voice could be heard from a greater distance. It listens carefully. Potential rival males in the area must be confronted swiftly to keep them away from the females. Winter is not over yet. But early birds are already rushing for nests. Rooks, known for their sharp intelligence and complex social lives, prefer to live close to humans. These rows of trees provide an ideal nesting area for the rook colony. Seeds and small invertebrates under the snow offer a feast for the rooks. However, with crowding comes consequence. Fights over space and the spread of disease can prove fatal for the weaker birds. A rare and rather unusual predator inhabits the steppes of southeast Anatolia. The black-winged kite hides its nest well. It would be impossible to see without the parents carrying food. One of the chicks wants all the food for itself. No wonder it's bigger than its siblings. Our settlements are expanding. Meadows are transforming into fields and pastures. Wild habitats are dwindling. We have depleted water resources, cutting off the lifeline of these ecosystems. Some of Anatolia's rarest and most iconic species depend on the steppes and plains for survival. Just like humans, the future relies on our willingness to live in harmony with nature.